the cross. They score! They score!
Welcome to God's Playbook with your host, Father Rico Passero.
Lock is a 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown!
Let's play ball.
Friends, welcome back to God's Playbook. Today I want to talk about the impact of the teacher versus the student, which Jesus points out. And so he says in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 23, "But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all students." This whole concept of you have one teacher suggests that it is Jesus alone who has the power to tell us what to do. The Blessed Mother's words, do whatever he tells you. It's a reminder to us. We just heard a few days ago in the daily readings, we heard it spoken of the commandment. What is the greatest commandment? Jesus is the one who tells us what we should and shouldn't be doing. He's the teacher. We notice that in the classroom, the teacher dictates what takes place. The subject, what time is recess, when test exams are given, etc. The students don't run the roost. Imagine if the students ran the classroom. Sometimes, sadly, when there's a supply teacher, the students do run the classroom and chaos continues in the classroom. So what we need to do is to make sure that we realize that Jesus is the teacher and we are the student, which suggests that the teacher makes the rules, gives us the guidelines, sets the standard, and is able to evaluate. What's the role of the student? The student is there to be respectful to the teacher, to listen to the teacher, abide by the teachings, learn what is being taught, and then apply the learning. So again, it is Jesus who is teaching, and we as students are to receive his teachings, apply it to our lives, and then make sure that we build the kingdom by living out those teachings. So as Jesus presents this truth to us today, friends, let's ask ourselves the question, am I listening to Christ the teacher? Which are the teachings that I feel I'm mastering so far? Which are the teachings that I need to work harder on? Again, which are the teachings that I feel that I've mastered right now? And which are the teachings that I need to work harder on? And for each of us, that might look very differently. For me, at times, the ability to forgive and pray for my enemies is a challenge. In other ways, caring for the poor and those who are vulnerable, that comes a little bit easier for me. What does it look like for you? Perhaps you fall into the same boat as me. Perhaps you're the exact opposite. The point is, we are to compare ourselves and set the standards that Jesus has set, not what we set as class or we set as student. It's not up to the student to give a final grade. It's up to Jesus. So we also have to realize that we're not called to judge our fellow students. We don't know what their learning capacities are. We don't know how they learn. We don't know what's going on in their lives. So when a fellow student acts out in the classroom, if they have issues at home, the teacher gives them the benefit of the doubt. Whereas to us as student, we might think, well, why can Joey act out? Why does the teacher come hard on me? So again, if we think that others have an easier life than us, we don't know what God has in store for them. We don't know what their capacity is. We don't know what they're able to handle. But St. Teresa says that God never gives us too much than we can handle. So again, let's stop comparing ourselves to fellow students and let's set the standard for ourselves that the teacher has given to us. That's Jesus. Also, students often complain about one another. It's the teacher's job to discipline. Same thing. Are we to correct one another? Yes, there is a time and a place for pastoral or fraternal correction. But for the most part, it's not up to me to be telling everyone else how they should and shouldn't be living. We need to align ourselves with the teachings of the master teacher. So, teacher versus student. Am I willing to A, accept my place as a student, B, realize the teachings that I need to work on, and C, work on them? What a great faith experience to go through. Teacher versus student. Jesus, help us to abide by your teachings. Help us to recognize our place, and then help us to meet your standards. For God's Playbook friends, I'm Father Rico. God loves you, and so do I.
If you like what you hear, please consider supporting us using any of our affiliate links in the description below via Buzzsprout, Ko-Fi, or GoFundMe. Thanks, and God bless.